我现在开始。Okay, Jenny, I'm very proud of you. Okay, you have this Harvard interview opportunity. So, and the time is very limited. At first, they wanted to meet with you on Barnes Noble. Now, maybe COVID-19, they want, maybe COVID-19, he or she just find the excuse. Is a lady or a guy?
It's a guy.
Okay, so maybe they don't feel comfortable, meet in job interview. I gave your mom an assignment to prepare you a portfolio. Okay, all your printings, the portfolio, and so you can give him one and you have one, but now the virtue is very easy. You just put all your art piece there, right? And explain to him. So I prepared 40 questions. Okay, so I'm going to mock interview you. And this is only first section. Now, I thinking 3 is a lucky number for me and my students. 3, not more than 3, because you are going to be tired of me. And, but with your mom and your permission, I'm recording this one exclusively for, some of my best students and you, so I can watch it again and give you feedback. So this is the first session, and maybe tomorrow I will spend 1 more hour. And on Tuesday, I will spend one more hour. I prepared today for you 40 questions. I'm go over and watch this session again and give you feedback. And right now, the feedback is you have to prepare the background, right? And also get your art piece ready, so you need to practice sharing documents. Make sense?
Okay.
So if you have any question about this interview process, you need to ask me, either in here or in WeChat. Wherever you have a question, I will answer you, but I will schedule 3 lucky number, not only for Harvard, but later on, maybe Rice University, maybe Stanford or Brown University, and the other art school, right? It's also very important for you. And I also prepared, and your mom gave me this assignment to go over with all your art pieces, how to do that. And also 1 Harvard art history class I'm taking right now, right? I'm going to give the account to you. So I want you to spend maybe at least 1 or 2 hours to be familiar with it, the Western art history. I'm going to give you 100 the most famous art pieces. And I gave you an assignment the last time. You study 1 very important, relatively modern artist that you are very familiar. That's your role model. You select 1 for me. Okay. And today, you need to make that decision and email that to me. I will research that person, and you will research that person just in case when he want ask about your art role model, who gave you the strongest impression, right? And where did you get the inspiration? Okay, and your leadership potential, all these kind of things. Okay, I talk too much. Let's do the mock interview. See, let me share documents with you. These are my recording, and one of them is you. I think these are my high school. This girl went to Stanford, and that is you. 3 years ago, it's not 3 years ago, it's way back. I think when you were in middle school to kill a mockingbird. I asked you to defending Bo, right? Bo Radley, you still remember that?
Yeah, I don't remember that.
You don't remember yourself?
No.
So that's why it's extremely for me to record you, and you were in your dad's living room. And that day is when Houston have snow.
Okay.
See, I was younger and a lot more handsome, and you were young. Give you the job to defend him, and I'm the bad wolf. I'm the county, the state prosecutor. So
That's
after my
time when I really have no gray hair. I'm not going to be emotionally blackmail you, but since I teach you, my hair grow gray. So you deserve to go to Harvard. You have to, right? So, and I want you to take a look at this class you have with mine. Maybe you will talk about To Kill Mockingbird and talk about your reflection on racial issues and anti-Asian hate crime. Because Harvard need what? Leadership. So after this class, I'm sending this video to you. That's your own record and maybe even your brother's interview training session. But you probably feel proud of him, right? You don't want to learn from your own brother. And he didn't go to Harvard. He only go to Rice. And these are the people, the mock college interview. Before this session, I was preparing myself for 2 hours. So I take this thing very seriously. It's not only to get you into Harvard. Even if you don't go to Harvard, you go to Brown, you go to other university, it will be great. The same technique will be used in your future job interview. A lot of interviews. You will have a lot of interviews, and I've been through a lot of interviews. There's a lot of tricks I need to share with you, okay? Since your parents are not training you on this, even though they are more than qualified to do it, but you won't listen to your parents, of course. Yeah, you won't listen to your brother. You will listen to me because we work on study literature together. And I was very impressed by your answer on this session, To Kill Mockingbird. So this one is your homework number 1. Watch our session together just in case they ask you about books. One, today is number 1. Okay, we schedule 3 of them, Monday and Tuesday, each time 1 hour. Today will probably take us a little longer because my rumbling. So 40 job interview questions students should expect. We do 1 at a time. For example, why Harvard? Jenny, why you want to apply for Harvard and you want to do early decision? Why Harvard is your number 1 choice? Go ahead.
I haven't done this much research right now.
See, you cannot be shy. You have to be very, extremely confident.
Okay, but
Make yourself relax. No, I do it again. Jenny, very glad to see you here. I graduated from Harvard 5 years ago, and we live in the same city, right? Now, because of COVID-19, we cannot meet face-to-face as we scheduled in Barnes Noble coffee shop. Now we have a virtual meeting. I'm going to write a report about you this week, right? On Friday. That guy have to write you, I have to write you a book report about Jenny, my impression of Jenny. But Jenny, the first thing I want to know is, with all these great universities, like Rochester University here in your hometown, why you choose Harvard? Tough question. Go ahead. Look me in the eye and answer me straightly.
I want to go to Harvard because I wish to study the visual arts there. And I know that Harvard has a great art program. And also because I wish to stay on the East Coast. And I think that Boston would be a great city for me. It would be a great fit for me. I don't know. Sorry.
No, I will tell you how, and you think about that.
Okay.
Okay. Harvard has always been a cultural center. Harvard and Boston has been a cultural center of the United States. I visited Harvard several years ago, and which year you have to go. It gave me the strongest impression. At that time, I determined I want to come to Harvard. I like the cultural atmosphere. And when I visit there, it's a full season, the beautiful campus impressed me so much. Even the air was very refreshing. Makes sense? Makes it very emotional. And I also love the progressiveness of Harvard art education. And homework number 2 today, go to that department's website and research certain professor profile. Make sense? And I visit, especially when I visit Harvard Art Museum. The collection impressed me. I feel I can stay there, not hours, but weeks and months. I got inspiration. My art has been influenced by so-and-so. I'm sending this one to you. Your homework number 2. See, I told you 1 hour is not going to be enough. For example, this Indian art, we talk about multicultural art influence in your art. Make sense? Our next class, not class, interview training session is that which one you think you get some inspiration. I have a Native American art collection, African art collection, Chinese art collection, Buddhism, right? Even Texas. Wow. It's almost like I can review the whole world's art history there. I can see the whole human society's appreciation of beauty. How about that, Jenny? I think it's very helpful. I hope somebody was coaching me. Okay, see the Japanese art, Zen Buddhism, Fu Shi Hui, that is the Chinese. Okay, and you talk about, you definitely got a lot of inspiration. We talk about the Grecian Jung, right? The mad pursuit of beauty. John Keats, write it down. You have to mention John Keats, right? The mad pursuit of social justice. Harvard put my 2 interests into focus. My pursuit of social justice through art. Make sense? And Harvard's promotion of multiculturalism. You have a modern art, chicken noodle soup. This guy I hated the most, Andrew Warhol. Disgusting thing, disgusting art, right? But you cannot say that. That's my personal bias. Disgusting. Let's ruin the Western culture. Make this country go to hell. But you cannot say that, and that's my personal bias. But this is a Persian art, right? Persian art, Islamic art. And then if you can mention your influence, these arts influence on you, immediately you get her attention, his attention. Make sense? And you will compare this art with you. So homework is to go through this one. And another one is your research, is your job, it's not my job. You should send me the email to research some of the most famous faculties. Make sense? It's your job. Why you come to Harvard? I know your company. I know your university. I like this guy. Right? It's almost like, like a guy goes to a girl. Why do you love me? Yeah. You have to say 1, 2, 3, right? Yeah. So that's the hard question. This Harvard is nothing compared with that. Yeah. Do you think my job interview was good?
Yes.
No, it's bad. I'm not going to tell you my privacy stuff, right? But I hope somebody was training me in that kind of job interview. Yeah, you say you love me, but why? See, that is hard. Just Harvard compare with that, it's peanuts, right? Compare with that. Professor of art, I want you to find a female professor, right? And you think you can make some connection. For example, I randomly choose her. Maybe for some reason we don't even know. I want you to have a deeper research on this young lady. Now, you read Professor of Art, Film, and Visual Study, and you already told me about your very diverse art interest, right? You shouldn't be shy. Number one thing is that, write it down. When they ask about you yourself, I try to overcome my shyness by model UN and art. I have so much emotion I want to impress or express. Only art give me freedom of expression. Make sense, Jenny?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So never be shy to learn these people. Okay. What's the big deal? Harvard. Not a big deal, actually. Seriously. Right? I prefer you come to Rice. Okay. So I can help you with the first year or second year college essays and stuff like that. Right? So you can cook for me. Your brother cooked for me, and he's wonderful. He's good. How about he fish? He get fish, and you cook fish for me. So come to Rice. Come on. How about that? So I do your, I help you with your college essay, and you cook some food for me, right? That's cool. But Harvard is better. Boston is better than Houston, right? Of course I know. So now read loud and clear, and I will tell you how to approach this. You can even name names. I have been following her since that time. And her art and her philosophy influenced me. And that is very flattering image. For example, I should tell that girl, oh, I like you. Oh, no, I'm not going to tell you, right? I'm still rehearsing, right? So of course I'm a failure. Because I'm a failure, I want my students to be a lot better than me. So read loud and clear.
Sharon Harper's work explores technology and perception. Her experimental work uses photography and video to create poetic connections between ourselves and the living environment. Harper's work is in permanent collection.
Listen, young lady. And another homework I want you to do is I'm going to help you when you finish all the Harvard interview, when you get any university decision and you have some university to choose, I want you to do exactly the same thing to write about you. And I want to use some words like create poetic connection between ourselves and the living environment. That is your inspiration. Why you go to university? Because I want to find some good master to follow. Understand me, Jenny? Okay. Actually, for 4 years of college, you would be lucky to find 1 or 2 professors you admire. right? Because yesterday I was training a boy about ICE and he asked about the role model. He said, I have no role model. I don't respect anybody. I don't look down on anybody. I don't look up on anybody. That's not cool, right? You need in your life, you need to find 1 or 2 person. You think, I respect this guy. Because this guy is a lot better, can move me to an upper level, right? Better than myself. So you need to find 1 or 2 or 3 rehearsal tool. Okay, I will tell you which one. Maybe by cosmic coincidence, we choose her. So I want you to today do deeper research. Your violin computation, that's nothing compared with this, what I will do. Make sense? Don't give me excuse. Okay, sorry. No, you're my old students. You know, you are young, old students. So I have high expectation on you. Keep on going.
Okay. Harper's work is in permanent collections at the Museum of Modern Art, New York, the Whitney Museum of American
Oh, did you and your brother visit here, right?
Yeah.
So you need to mention in your
The Whitney Museum of American Art, New York, the Metropolitan Museum of Art, New York, the Museum of Fine Arts, Houston.
I need to find it out, right? I've been here probably, if not 100 times, that maybe 20 times, because they always have new stuff, like Van Gogh and Michelangelo. Oh, Buffalo. Oh, go ahead.
The George Eastman Museum in Rochester, New York. Oh, okay.
Wow. So
Um,
I want you to, have you visited Rochester, New York, Rochester Museum?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, then you go to their website and then find her. You know, I go to Rochester Museum to look at her presentation. Do some research. Okay, go.
The Santa
Oh,
Barbara.
that's too much. That's too much.
Yeah.
That's too much. The Moody Resident Fellowship. Oh, that's in the Rice University. There's a Moody Center in. Next time when you come back to Houston, right? Go with your brother and me. We visit this location together in Rice, right? It's impressive. You know, they are so rich and they are very proud of their collection, right? These are the condensation of human achievement. Make sense? So your college application essay in terms of mad pursuit, that is also an inspiration. Make sense? I can observe the mad pursuit of a beauty in human society. Make sense? Do you see the inspiration we discussed last time? Now, from here.
Harper's most recent work, Some Observations on Movements of the Earth, is an ongoing series of photographs supported by the Guggenheim Foundation in 2014 to 15, the Harvard University Climate Change Solutions Fund 2019, and the Harvard University.
Stop. Didn't we talk about climate change is the most important political correct issue in the United States? Racial justice, climate change. Because just several days ago, John Biden and G20 have a meeting, right? And John Biden was accusing Putin and Xi, the Chinese and Russian leader, didn't attend. So you guys are not good leader. You guys are not making contribution to the world. The world need our solution. We need to care about our environment, especially you guys' generation. For example, my son, you know, Jeffrey, you met him, right? The quiet young man, but he was not quiet in my household. He yelled at me all the time when I didn't do my recycling correct. You're supposed to know. Okay. So he's different person. He's not a quiet young man, right? So that therefore, you guys' generation have a lot of more environmental consciousness. And where that come from? These Harvard professors continuous work using art to perform this. So they do have this funding. So Harvard have tons of money to support you guys to do art pieces. See, that's their art pieces. Okay. So you need to know who win the reward, whether that fit into your interest. Research these people. For example, this young lady found avoid proposal to ease climate what Harvard News. Therefore, Jenny, it's worth your time to do a lot of research and read all the articles I'm sending to you.
Okay.
And your mom talked with me about this. Your dad was writing a funding, these medical doctors, right? And when they do a lot of these medical research, like a cancer research, right? Neuroscience research, breakthrough research, what do they need to do? Writing funding idea, new idea for global warming solution with $1 million funding. That's going to be you, right, Ginny? In the near future. So therefore, don't give me the excuse, I have to play for something. Yeah, that's important, but not important. Put into a grand perspective. This research, even if you don't go to Harvard, will be useful for you all the time. In the near future, Ginny. Yeah, doesn't matter you go to Harvard, go to Rice or Brown. Hey, what's the things go to the worst? What's the other? Patrick went to where, my students? Patrick went to what?
Oh, Cornell?
Cornell is not that bad. Even though there's so many classmates, so many students from your school go to Cornell, right? Cornell is not bad. I'm using some Cornell material, especially history material, to teach my students. So they have a very good website, have a lot of good things for free. Yeah, I'm taking Harvard class right now. It's only charged me $99. You know, because they have a tons of funding. You know, this Indian girl had $1 million funding to do art. Not read this first paragraph only.
Harvard faculty and students are training their interest and their expertise on what is literally the world's hottest hot button issue, global warming. As a result,
Stop. Words, hottest hot button issue. And shouldn't you prepare to read the whole article? This is directly from Harvard newspaper, right? Their internal circulation. But the great things they expose to all of us. It's open society. But if you don't do your research, whose fault is that? My fault. Your parents' fault. They're still in San Antonio flying around to make a lot of money. They should pay me more, definitely. I'm joking. Yeah, but your brother pay me the most. You know, he cooked for me, right? So that's.
I don't think you want. I don't think you want to taste my cooking. It's not.
Of course I do. You know, doesn't matter how good or how bad, I will finish them all. You know, I'm already fat, so you know. But you know, of course I do, because it's not the food, it's the ceremony, right? It's the respect I appreciate. So your brother and your dad, the day when Kevin go to Rice, they stop up by my house and cook food for me. I finish eating, they finish eating, and they go to the Rice. That's the first time. That's the day, the first day. So it's very heartwarming ceremony, right? It's kind of, it shows respect and Kevin, no, he still needs to send some fish for me, but no. Anyway, keep on going.
As a result, 9 research teams will share $1 million in the 7th round of the Climate Change Solutions Fund awards for proposals that create critical knowledge, propel novel ideas, and lead towards solutions that can be applied at Harvard and across the globe. Pursuing a more sustainable future means advancing on several fronts to address the tremendous challenges posed by climate change. Harvard President Larry Buchow said, "The projects being funded this year draw on strengths from across the university and among a wide swath of researchers and scholars. I look forward,
Wow, wonderful. Okay.
I look forward to seeing where their efforts lead us in the years ahead."
So in order to be taken seriously, you need to read these materials, okay? A study of the implication of geographical and administrative boundaries on groundwater extraction in India. See? PhD candidate, public policy. Graduate School of Art and Science. Come on, Jenny. You win so much science reward and you are very good at science. You have all these AP science class, right? Yes or no? How many AP science you did? Tell me, go. Name the names. Name the name, not give me the number. Name the names. Go ahead.
Okay. I did chemistry, biology. I'm doing psychology. What? I don't even remember.
You forgot your. That's a lot of torture. Or maybe you think, oh, after torture, I don't even want to remember them. That's the wrong attitude.
And physics. You want to know the math ones?
Yeah, math. Of course, math.
I took stats. I took Calc BC.
Wow.
I took A push.
Lit. You did A push. Okay. Yeah, of course.
AP World. Yeah. And then art.
Okay.
And then Spanish.
You didn't do AP art history. Therefore, you need to do this one with me. Don't have to be with me. I want you to spend some time. You can register them for free first. This one. See, I'm in the middle of it. I'm in the lecture 2 and I finish all the homework. European printing, write it down. This is the European printing from Leonardo to Rembrandt to Goya. Right? See, what do they have? The course description. And it's probably too late, but maybe not too late if you spend some time on this course.
I don't even know if they offer art history like this year. So
okay. Yeah. So you have to be familiar. Eventually, you're familiar with all these art history vocabulary. Try again. Your connection is bad. What's going on? So the biggest thing for you is you connect the Harvard, what they are doing in the art and science, and this one is a cross-discipline study. So all these great achievement was made. Okay, and you can talk about the degree, African American study, anthropology, and all these kind of things they're teaching in Harvard. Okay, in order to answer why you come to Harvard, you have to answer this. I know you. You're so wonderful. You know, I cannot live without you. Something like that. My life will be ruined. With your help, you know, I can achieve great things, and here is what I want. I really want to do cross-discipline. I'm very good at math. You remember you were working with me on forensics? The murder stuff, right?
Yeah.
The forensics, right? Do you still remember the blood patterns and stuff like that?
Yeah.
We work out together when you are what? 8th grader or 9th grader? I forgot.
Maybe 8th grade.
8th grade. And rehearsal your experience. That kind of, right? Since
Mhm.
are very young kids. I'm interested in forensics. And my parents don't understand it, especially my mom. Why a young girl want to study with that old ugly guy from Houston, the blood patterns, right? The murder scene, right? I think social justice, conscious of the need of the community, and art can serve society, right? Art can help us to be more conscious of crime, environmental issues. Hot of the hottest button, you have to push some buttons to give that young man a strong impression. And this guy will write a report. And he had to say, Jenny gave me some of my strongest impression. So you have no business to be shy because you have so much to offer to these people. Because I know you, they don't. Make sense, Jenny? I know you, they don't. My job is push you, help you to expose the best part of yourself, right, in a very short time. So all these homework you need to do. I did my homework, you have to do your homework. So, make sense? It's almost like, you know, that crucial job interview. Why you love me? Why? The same thing. Why you want to come this, for example, 3M company with all these job offers? Why you choose my company? So you have to say, hey, I know so much about your company, right? Because you have to go to their website to look through their what they have done, their lawsuit, right? How many people sue them, and you defend them, right? Yeah. Even though the whole society say bad things about your company, I'm your supporter, right? Right? What's your idea about Harvard discrimination about Chinese students, Asian students, the lawsuit? You don't know. I know. That was in my Harvard last year's, Harvard justice class. You know, you're supposed to be in that class. Maybe this summer, Harvard Justice Law School. Okay, the law school stuff.
I've heard of it, but like I don't know that much about like
Harvard justice. You know, oh, that's the another thing. But if you took my Harvard justice class, that would be.
Isn't it just like a lawsuit that they're discriminating against Asians and like the
There's a Harvard justice class, and then Harvard. See, this is the Michael Sandel's. Last 2 years, I was using his program to teach Houston kids and here and there. Okay, and that's one thing. The other is. Asian. So what do you think? The thing is that sometimes they give you a surprise. Here is what at stake for Asian American in the Harvard affirmative action cases. And one of the question is, what do you think about that? What's your position on affirmative action? It's such a tricky question. If you are poor affirmative action, there's a trick. If you are gases, it's also very tricky. So you are working in the reader's edge. This side doesn't work. The other side doesn't work. Very, very, very tricky. Harvard isn't discrimination against Asian American. Federal court rule. So your homework is from
you know, these legitimate NBC, Bloomberg, and even Harvard's own website. See, this was reported all over the world. Why are some Asian Americans suing Harvard University? Asian American accusing Harvard of bias against Asians. So the report is all over the world. And you should be conscious. The controversy are there. That's the homework. How do you answer that? That's for our second section. How do you affirmative action, AC? Make sense? Because that is the affirmative action you have to already know. You're supposed to already know is disadvantaged community, like African American, Latinos, right?
Well,
Okay.
I know about it. I just don't know what I should say for like.
That's right. You know about it, and it's very difficult for you to take a stand. So it's a long story. So we're not going to talk about that because it's going to be sidetrack. See, I prepared 40 questions for you already. We have so much thing we need to talk about it. But the first question is hard, but they will ask you, why do you choose 3M? How to answer common interview questions, a cheat sheet. So it isn't your job to finish all the cheat sheet. Okay, and this is the Jeffrey's question when he was applying for DBK, right? So tell me about yourself. Who are you? Jenny, who are you? Tell me about yourself. This is hard. This is from this cheat sheet. Now, Jenny, tell me about yourself.
Well, I'm a high school senior and I'm really interested in arts and sciences. I used to think of art as sort of like a hobby, but in the past year, I've come to realize that I really
Not the past year, past 3 years.
Oh, past 3
Since
years.
you visit Harvard Museum, since you visit New York, but you bring question there, not the past year, past 3 years, or even longer. So for example, your research on crime, forensics since 8th grader, you talk with me. You have developed this social consciousness and you move your art away from peer pleasure, beauty, right? Decoration to express yourself. Sorry for the interruption. That's my bad habit. Go.
Okay, well, what was it? Oh, sorry, okay. So in the past 3 years or so, I've become more interested in art. And should I talk about like what I do or should I talk about like why?
Keep on going.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've come to realize I really love art because I think it's a way for me to express myself through like a communication that's not just words. And I also hope to apply the arts to like other disciplines such as social justice and also the sciences, because I really do enjoy the hands-on practices that art gives me and how it allows me to express like my ideas. But I also wish to apply it to things such as Asian American awareness and also like scientific issues such as climate change. Yeah.
And then take notes, okay? I want you to take 2 or 3 page notes about this Harvard professor, this young lady, right? I got sidetracked. Whose fault is that? This young lady. Write it down. Your homework is research everything she did. Let's keep on doing this. Even if we did this one question, it's worth it. Okay, keep on going.
the Harvard University Asia Center 2019. The series focuses on reading land formation and the phenomena that shape it in geologic deep time and in the present, emphasizing the agency of the earth. The current phase of the project is to respond to faster processes that transform the land in a human time span, such as landslides, forest fires, flash floods, and coastal erosion.
Wow, 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 wow. Write down. You trying to talk about CO2 emission. Take notes. And I want you to research CO2 emission. In art. You can talk about that's your next. That is your next focus. My past focus is about racial justice, right? COVID-19 time. You can talk about it, even though we live in Manchester, a very safe community. Didn't you know that even in Manchester, there's a racial classes in your city? Yes or no? Research it, right? We are some of the safest city in the United States, but I still observe the racial tensions, right? Conflicts. But you closely observe Chicago. What's that? Jeffrey City? What's that city? Freud stuff. St. Paul, right? When Jeffrey was in St. Paul, that was 2 years ago, right? I forgot. I was worried because the fire was 40 minutes from where he lived. The city was burning. You talk about at that time, I think a lot and how to challenge myself to express my thinking through art. And now my next project would be to this. Okay. See this Indian girl get $1 million Harvard funding, and how to write your own funding report in the future. That is her art. Keep on going, keep on going. Yeah, we finish. So look at her art. What's your impression? See, that's her piece of art. Didn't I mention Maya Lin? That Yale girl, right? Maya Lin. Maya Lin's art, she's also interested in the landscape, humans' harmonic coexistence with nature. So art for art's sake doesn't work anymore, right? He's affiliated people in this thing, visiting faculty, that's their faculty. So this is important. I want to prefer to find some female senior lecturer of art, film, visual art, senior lecturer art, film, visual art, film. So you need to do this research. Give this guy, who's the #1, a chance. See you, New York. What's his interest? So look at these guys, okay? Look at these guys. So Harvard Business School. So I prepared for both. Why do you want to major in? Go ahead.
I wish to major in visual arts because I believe that art is a way for me to express ideas that I can't through simply like words and language. And I wish to, I sort of already said this, like I would say the same thing. I would apply that to my other interests. such as social justice and environmental awareness, so that I can serve my
Oh,
community.
at that time, you supposed already pointing out to your art. And before you share the document, you need to get all your presentation materials supporting, let's call the supporting materials, right, on your screen, right? So like today, before you come to the website, you come to my Zoom session, you're supposed to already put whatever you want him to see, right, on the screen. Now, are you ready to share screen with me?
I can show you my website.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So you're supposed to already open them, right? So it's take you 2 seconds, 1 second to look at your website, but you need to get them already ready, open. Not even one, and you talk about the social, which one is social justice, which one is the environment, and you need to teach him how to appreciate Chinese various slur, right? My students, fourth grader, have got into trouble because of the slur was called into principal's office, fourth grader. Arthur's teacher lost her job because he used a wrong word. Disappeared, right? And another of my students, true story, seventh grader, copied other people's word. Got into big trouble. So this one will get that guy's attention. Definitely will get his attention. So next time when we talk about the different issues, you're already supposed to impress that guy with your portfolio. These are your portfolio. Okay, I gave your mama's assignment is to print them out, use the best paper with the cover, send them out to different departments, right? With your application materials, send them out. You have a lot of great things to dig into. You shouldn't be shy to tell them about you. Okay, next question. Like my turn. Next question. Where do you hope to be in 10 years? That is a hard question. Now you raise it. Go.
If you have a desired career path, you can discuss that some. But if you're not sure what to talk about, go with what you hope to have gained from the college experience when you're an adult, or the kind of person you hope to be. For example, in 10 years, I hope to be a wiser and more empathetic person because I have interacted with people from a variety of backgrounds and learned from their experiences.
Go ahead.
Okay.
How do you answer this question? Where do you, this forces you to think about yourself. Where do you hope to be in 10 years? Yeah, you can go after class, when you finish your performance, you can meditate over it, visualize what you want to do. It will come true though, Jenny. Visualization is a very powerful tool. Most of people like me actually self-censor themselves, self-sabotage. Most of the career paths limitation was not limited by society. It's all limited by ourselves. Self-sabotage is the #1 enemy that anybody can have. So our worst enemy are ourselves. Self-censorship and self-limitation, and dare not to use the power of visualization. Jenny, if you visualize where do you hope to be in 10 years, it will come true. Maybe in a changed form. Maybe, right? Even if you change your idea in the future, but visualize it. And your visualization, use your word, will influence the other people. Right? That guy is not, on the other side, is not your enemy. You have to help him to visualize about you and you win him over, right? If you express yourself as an interesting person and people are starving to meet interesting person. Make sense? If you dare to visualize yourself, others are dare to help you. But self-censorship and self-destruction, self-doubt, right? Self-sabotage even are the worst enemy. So why I'm so negative? Because I don't want, because people do that, I do that all the time. Okay, all the time. That's why I want my students to get out of that trap, right? And if you research on these people, and if you're interested on them, they will be flattered. Jenny, they will be flattered that you're interested in them. Because you know why? Because they are old, you are young, right? They are old, they are young, they want some other people to go to their path and be better, right? So you have the potential to be their better. Okay, but if you say, I don't look up on anybody, that's a wrong mentality. Right? There are some people better than you. Because they are old, you are young, right? You have far more potential than they do, but you need to imitate the best and be better than they do. Not visualize, no, I talk too much. You talk too little.
In 10 years, I hope I have to be, I'm not exactly sure what I want to do, but I hope to have possibly changed other people's like ideas about certain issues such as racial justice or environmental problems. I also hope to have expanded my own viewpoint in the process, and also have done some good for my community through my art and science. I don't really know.
That's good, Jenny? Why not good? Why? Show,
Yeah, I know.
not tell.
I
The
know.
golden rule of writing is also the golden rule of conversation. I want detail.
I know.
Okay? I want the detail. And you have a lot of detail because you're an artist. You know, look at my picture. I want to express myself even better. And this picture, why don't you send me a link next time? I will show you, you know, the communication part. You know, I'm still struggling with communicating my idea to other people. And I think through my art, I can express myself better. I will be a better person than myself right now. Right? Don't talk about social justice. You talk about our community's awareness of mental illness, our community's awareness of social justice. Okay? Using my art to organize people, raising social awareness. For example, the racial slur issue, the confrontation issue, the misunderstanding of other people's cultures issue. For example, I'm trying to use Chinese culture to communicate, and I'm always learning multicultural issues, right? The impressive, put it in here and talk about Harvard Museum's influence on you, Rochester's museum's influence on you. Point out this person, this young lady, right? From Harvard, influence on you. Even though the other guy from Harvard alumni never heard about it, is totally okay. Make sense? He will be flattered that you know so much about Harvard. Okay? Even though this person may not visit Harvard Museum himself. What is his major? Do you know that guy who's going to interview you?
I think it was like history or something.
What did he do?
Let me search it up.
Yeah, search up on him. And the final question is, what question do you have to ask me? You ask about him. What's your major in Harvard? Why you choose Harvard? Did Harvard help you future career? Make sense? That's the perfect question for you to ask. So you gave him a plenty time to talk about himself. Because a lot of people are starving to have interesting people to communicate. Make sense?
Yeah.
You have to be interesting people at that interview. Make sense? Show yourself. Be yourself. Don't fear to offend him. Okay? Don't fear. But fear what? Fear use generic language to bore him to death. Make sense? Don't bore him to death. Don't kill him. Okay? Don't dare you do that. Okay. Don't dare you do that. Okay. See? Pinned from Rembrandt to this guy I don't never heard about. State of Play. That's from Harvard. Okay. That's why I take the Harvard class. Because my ignorance. Why do I want to why do I take Harvard class? Because my ignorance. Like me. And you talk about, I have this thirsty for knowledge. I was so impressed when I was in Harvard Museum. There are so many things I never heard of. And I'm impressed by this. For example, after I'm teaching you, that's also, this one is my homework. You show that guy, you always curious, interesting. I'm going to study this one, if nothing else, to overcome my bias on modern art. Make sense? My bias. Colloquial individual art. So you spend hours. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. See, do you know this piece? Yes or no?
Yes.
The only Japanese art in the 100 most important AP art history printing. Most famous printing in the whole world. I'm using this one to teach myself and my homeschool. And you need to finish them all this weekend. I mean today. Harvard Art Museum. And I know all of them. And you still need to do my homework, like research one person. Like when I was in grad school, I read the autobiography of Van Gogh. That's me. And you choose any one of them. The Night Watch, Rembrandt. The light, right? The impressive thing is the light from the direction, from this direction. It's actually, it's about the daytime because night watch. And not rather than old, which one is this?
It's like Gearna. Wait, no. I forgot how to say it.
Yeah, it's a little small village in Spain. It's about Spanish Civil War,
like
right? The first aerial bombardment of this city is anti-war by Picasso, Pablo Picasso. I think when he was in France and the Nazi Germany didn't kill him. Yeah. Didn't even arrest him. This is the, yeah. The Kiss. This one worth so much money. There's a whole movie about it, how Nazi stolen this one, and then they have a lawsuit. And right now it's in Vienna. There's all these printings have a lot of story. And your job is to entertain that guy, give him a very strong impression, connect. And your research today is research one of them. One of these people influence on you. This one have a very strong influence on me. I like it since high school. And you need to find one, and you do research. This one is about serenity, is about eternity, is about the beauty, is about life's aim, the meaning of life. Okay, to finding serenity and peace for you, right? So you need to research on that. So that this thing, in 10 years, I want to combine my enthusiasm on science and art and social justice, combine them together. I don't want to be a tool. For example, my parents want me to be a medical doctor. Yes, I'm very interested in medical science. I'm interested in eye, the human color. I want to have people like my teacher who have a very bad eyesight to cure his eye, but I don't want to be a tool only to make money out of his misery, right? I'm thinking about human observation, right? And my influence on, the ultimate truth, the beauty of art. We observe the world with our eye, but our eyes cheat us, right? Our perception are not only, most of the time, are not reliable. These kind of philosophical question and social justice, put them together. Okay, you don't need a perfect question. You don't need a perfect answer, Jenny. You just need to make your conversation interesting, and they say, hey, Jenny is a deep thinker, and it's perfectly okay to say, Jenny, I'm actually not so sure. Make sense? Because I always have this conflicting idea to be a medical doctor or become an artist. Okay. And I'm interested in science, but I don't want to be a professional medical doctor just like my dad. Make sense? It's okay to put them down, step on them is fine. And they won't mind. They won't mind. They're good heart people. They are not as vulnerable like me. Right? Okay, anyway, so do you understand? So it's okay to say, I'm not so sure, but you have to make these two strong arguments very strong. Number one, I'm interested in science, right? And I see how my brother and my dad can make great contribution in that field. They solve so many people's misery, right? But I am different from them. I'm the artist in my family. I'm using my art to express myself. I have so many things to say, but my verbal skill cannot match my thinking. Make sense, Jenny? Is that true or no? Not true. It's true.
I think that's true.
It's true, right?
Yeah.
By expose your vulnerability, make you stronger. That's true. Okay, next one. See, I prepared 40 questions, 40 of them. Keep on going. See, this is hard work, but you will benefit from it. Okay. Wow. This one is what book you read in the past year that gave you a strong impression. If you cannot name it, research right now. Not read this one. Go for me. Go.
What have you read recently that has impacted or changed how you saw the world?
Not read this whole thing. Go.
To make sure you have thought about beforehand. Try to steer away from popular teen books like Harry Potter or common high school English curriculum like Romeo and Juliet. Be sure to pick a book or article, blog post, tweet, as long as it's meaningful or substantial, that you actually enjoyed and connect it to what hit home the most about it.
Go ahead, tell me the true story. Go.
I think a book that I really enjoyed was Jane Eyre. Is that a bad choice, Jane Eyre? I don't know.
Now keep on talking. Why Jane Eyre influence you?
I really like the story because she's like a female heroine that she started out from, she wasn't like an ideal heroine that was like perfect as in like beautiful or like rich or anything. She started life like from the bottom or like lower, I don't know, and then she had to go through like many hardships, and like the final journey was towards like realizing that she was an independent person and like becoming free instead of like a typical hero's journey, I guess you would say. So yeah, I enjoyed it because it was about like a female protagonist that wasn't very conventional, but she learned how to like respect herself and stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, here, take notes. I like Jane Eyre not because of school forced me to. I like Jane Eyre because I identify with her. Right? And I vividly memorize Jane Eyre reading, Jane reading behind the curtain. Right? And you said, I drew my self-portrait. I draw my art. This is Jane Eyre reading, and from reading the books, seeking comfort and protection. Make sense? Suddenly, I identify with Jane Eyre. I realized that was me. Jane Eyre was me. I identify with her. Right? Yeah. Even though Jane Eyre was in England, I was in Rochester, New York. Our living environment are totally different. But through Jane Eyre, I perceive the world. This book makes me deeper, right? And I reflected on female situation currently in the United States and my generation. And people, my classmates think I'm weird reading Jane Eyre because it's not a modern book anyway, right? Actually, it's not a modern book. Most of the people reading Jane Eyre are forced by school, or my trick to teach them is, oh, there's so many SAT words. It's help your SAT vocabulary and the reading comprehension, which is true. But if you identify Jane Eyre, that is a beautiful printing, right? And you can even make, and your printing, you put this printing side with yours. It's not a copy. This is Jane Eyre, that was me. Make sense? So once you show me that your Jane Eyre, show me your Jane Eyre. No, show me you yourself read.
Wait, my what?
You remember there's a printing about yourself, reading.
Oh, okay.
Were you conscious of Jane Eyre at that time, or you are not conscious of Jane Eyre?
I was not.
You was not conscious of Jane Eyre. Okay, you show him. When I finish my drawing, I realized I was unconsciously using Jane Eyre. And you put this Jane Eyre and that Jane Eyre side. No, make it bigger. Make it bigger. Make it bigger. The biggest, just like just now. Okay, no. Let me give you a deeper impression. Okay. I'm interested in human error. That's your essay. Because our eye gave us a tool for exploration of the world. And the color is the medium for me to draw picture, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right? But I know our eyes can perceive. Write that down. And deceive. Perceive is that we understand our outside world and ourselves. Deceive is our eye tricked us. Right? And here you said, that was you. This is you. But the other girl, the shadow is also you. Through reading, you can reach the outside world and the world with the light. Make sense? And this only when I finish printing, write it down, I realize the similarity between this printing and Eyre. But I realize reading for me is not only like Eyre is seeking comfort, protection, escape, but also liberation. Make sense? At this time, you show that guy, the Harvard alumni, about this shadow girl. Make sense? So I'm dig deeper into Jenny Lee's subconsciousness. Did I? Yes or no?
Yeah.
See, I can work as a psychoanalyst. See, and look at this branch. Look like a snake. Snake mean what? Knowledge, right? The ambiguity of knowledge. Knowledge gave us strengths, but knowledge gave us a bias, and knowledge mean power, but knowledge also mean evilness.
Wait, which branch?
The snake, of course, the snake, the knowledge of the tree. A human being are not supposed to know the knowledge of tree, but in terms of medical science, didn't we do genetic engineering?
Maybe.
Yeah, the clone,
Oh,
the
okay.
sheep dolly. So when
yeah.
I drew this one, you said, you can say that this is like a snake. It's almost like a DNA, right? It's almost like the symbol of medical science. I was watching this, I was reading this one with my dad, and my dad reminded me, oh, this look like our medical profession. Make sense? Because he's a top researcher, practitioner, and researcher and professor in the medical science, right? And he know you discuss with your dad. Now he's coming back, flying back from where? San Antonio today. He's in San Antonio. And I said, you guys go back and cook for Jenny, okay? Because she's going to work very hard with me. All right? Don't just go there to make money. You have enough money to pay me. So this is the medical science, right? This is medical science, the tree of knowledge. These guys, like your dad, are trying to discover the secret of like longevity. Okay, this is the girl from New Zealand. She is, she can look at it. She's a good girl, okay, from New Zealand, probably 1 year younger than you, okay? No, she can listen to us and she can wait for several minutes. Make it bigger, okay? Actually, she learned Eyre with me. Oh, I'm going to do that. We are going to do Pride and Prejudice together, but I also want to teach her about Eyre. Make sense? So Jenny, you write a whole description about what I explained about your art. No, Sophia, listen carefully. I'm helping Jenny Lee from New York, right? Interview on Wednesday, this coming Wednesday. Harvard alumni. And I gave her already tons of homework to do today, tons of the material to do today. So we're going to meet tomorrow night. Okay, my night time, because tomorrow I'm going to be busy. Today I have a lot of time. But today when you finish violin, when I finish teaching Jenny, Sophia and his brother, if you have time, you can you can arrange another time with me after you finish my homework. Make sense? You write a whole description of this art and what I talk about this one with medical science, with truth, with knowledge, and the inspiration of Jane Eyre to this printing. Let me send this Jane Eyre things to you. And you put them side on side to your interview. This girl, right? You realized only this year, Jane Eyre reading behind the curtain. You put them side on side because the what? Because Jenny, the two are so different. Your stuff is so colorful, right? Your stuff is so colorful. But that one is monocolor, black and white. And you guys are across space, England, New York. Space and time. But you write down your main thesis is that what? Even though we are different in time, nationality, across space and time, our sensitivity are so different, but I identify with Jane Eyre. Jane Eyre was me. Make sense, Jenny? Now finish my work and hopefully you have a good weekend. Your parents is coming back to cook for you. I asked them to do that. And your mom is going to dress you up and declaration. Hey, listen, I want you to print them out and put your art at the back. It's your mom's job. You're too busy to do that. She needs to do her work and she needs to pay me, of course. But she have more than enough money to pay me right now, right, Jenny? Yeah, okay. You will be successful. You will be successful. Conquer your fear. Make sense? You have more than enough material to impress people. But you need to use that half an hour, 45 minutes to expose to that person. It's your job to do that. Interesting him. I don't want you to give him a correct answer because correct answer are rehearsed and not interesting. Listen, just be yourself. And you have more than enough thing. Even if you make a mistake answer, it's better than correct but boring answer. I don't want to hear any boring word. Make sense? Make it interesting. And listen, no fear. Okay, what if you don't go to Harvard? What's the big deal if they're lost, right? Come back to rice, okay? Cook for me, okay? Right? Yeah, I will eat everything you cook, even though it's ruined, okay? Okay, especially fish that you brought again. Okay, cool.
Okay, thank you.
See you. And your parents are flying back. Hey, where's your brother, young lady? What's your brother? Where's that guy?
我今天起来的时候，我看我的 parents 都还没有起来叫他，我自己去叫他们。
看看能不能叫起来 ，OK。